Hey folks, there's two questions that I get a lot when it comes to travel hacking for people who want to do it, but there's things in the way. And there's two things are, number one, if you're trying to apply for a loan, like for a house or that sort of thing, or number two, if you don't have credit or you've never had a credit card. So where do those two people go if they want to do travel hacking, but there's maybe some limits on that? Okay, we'll first talk about somebody who does have low credit or no credit and what to do about that. Okay, so if you don't have a credit history, what we want to do is make one, right? If you have time before you're 18 to be an authorized user on maybe a parent's card or somebody who will allow you to do that, and they have really good credit, you can actually borrow some of their credit that way, and it'll kind of build up your credit score based off of theirs. But obviously, if you're over 18, that may not be an option. So there's a couple things that I would say to do. And number one is take the course, because if you don't know where you're going and that sort of thing, it'll be hard for you to know, like, how does this work when I do get points, when I am able to apply for credit cards, how does this work? So taking the course that I recommend by Travel Multiplier is a great place to start, and you can be learning as you're building your credit. Number two is use Rakuten. Rakuten is a shopping portal, and you can earn points through that without opening a card. You can use your debit card, or you can do that sort of thing. But it has thousands and thousands of stores that you can just start with that shopping portal. It'll take you to that other thing. You can earn 2 points back, 5 points back per dollar on everything that you spend. This last year, when my husband and I signed up for Rakuten when they were doing a good promo, we ended up with like 50,000 points within a couple months because of the different, deals that they were with Black Friday and that sort of thing. So reach out to me if you need a Rakuten referral, because those are amazing. That'll give you some extra cash back or points back. And that's free to do. Again, you don't have to open a credit card, but Rakuten is a good idea for somebody who's trying to make some points, but maybe you can't open a credit card yet. And then another thing I would do is I would also start with a smaller card. There is one called the Freedom Unlimited, and I think you spend $500 and then you get $200 back. It's marketed as a cashback card, but when you get into this a little bit deeper, you can connect it to a card in the future that will actually turn those cashback into points. But for now, the Freedom Unlimited is a pretty easy card to apply for. It's marketed a lot for college students and people that would have low credit, so it's a little bit easier to get approved for that one. And so I would start there. Start with the Freedom Unlimited. And then what I've seen people do is do that for 3 months. And then when you finish that spending and you've had it for 3 months, apply for something else that might be a little bit easier. One of the things I've found that are pretty easy to get approved for is a Delta Amex card. I've had friends that have very low scores or very little credit history, and they've been able to be approved for those pretty quickly. And Delta flights are great. And so again, those are great cards to have because you get points, but you're also just building your credit with a Chase card and an Amex card, and that'll get you a good foundation. So number one, take the course. Number two, use Rakuten. Number three, start with smaller cards like the Freedom Unlimited and the Delta Amex. Both of those I have referrals for on the website, www.travelmultiplier.com/faith. So you can get on there and get those referrals and get going on that. Another thing I want to mention though is, do you have a business? If you're a young person and maybe you have a side business, that could help you too, because your business, even if you're using your social security number, very often you can get approval for a business card when you couldn't maybe a personal card. So that could be an avenue to look at. It's even easier if you have an LLC or an EIN number. I know there's a place online that you can actually get an EIN number for a small business for free. So that's something to look at. Okay, and then the second person is, what if you're waiting to be approved for a loan, or you want to get a house loan in the near future? What I've seen recommended by people who do this and people who have applied for home loans while doing travel hacking is they say take a 6-month break, don't open any cards, and a 6-month break before you intend to apply for a loan. And then usually, because of course travel hacking actually builds your credit history, it builds your credit score, and so it's actually a good thing. But then when you go to apply for a home loan, you want to take a 6-month break before you apply, and then apply for that loan. When you get that loan and you're able to get your house finalized and all of that, after that's final and you're completely done with the buying of your house, then you can start back up opening cards again. Okay, so that kind of helps iron that out a little bit. I've talked to a couple people that have actually been doing the travel hacking thing, and then they also took a break to do this house loan, buy a house thing, and so that's something to think about. But while you're waiting for that loan, take the course, use Rakuten, spend on the travel cards you do have. If you already have been starting this, use the travel cards you do have. Like, look at those spending categories. What's going to give you the most points for what card? You know, like, oh, we're going to put the groceries on this one because it has the best percentage back. We're going to put dining out and coffee on this one. We're going to put, you know, whatever it is. You can figure that out to get you the maximize your points back. And then max out your referrals. If you are, again, if you already have a travel card, even if you only have one, max out your referrals every year, because that will give you points back. I know, like for me last year, I was able to max out my referrals for the Sapphire Preferred. That gave me 100,000 points, just points from referring people to that card. So that's a great way to make points. If you're excited about travel hacking, you know how it works, you want to talk to people about it, you can give them the referral for your card, and you can just max out those referrals every year until you are to the point where you can do your loan and get started again. And then also, do you have a business? Because if you have a business with the LLC or EIN number, that's something that you can do on the side, and it won't affect your credit score. So some things to think about if you don't have a credit score, you're working on credit history, or you're about to apply for a loan. Those are just some things to think about in still earning points, but without doing it in a way that would hurt your credit score. So hope that helps.